Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shan Stratton Live. My name is Shan Stratton. Be able to see a live demonstration of what I believe is a truly life-changing or can be life-changing technology that allows us to address many things that go on within our body. Now, I've been in this industry for almost 25 years. But about 5 years ago, I was introduced to this technology that, for the lack of detailed terms, allows me to more alkalize my body and to provide alkalizing water, and it has truly been life-changing in a lot of different ways. And we do a demonstration, but we also talk about the alkaline living principles. How do we balance the body so that it is in a slightly alkaline environment? See, most people don't realize that the body was intended to function most efficiently, most effectively, in the healthiest way possible in a slightly alkaline environment. Yet, surprisingly to me 5 years ago, and maybe surprisingly to many of you watching this demonstration, most America, and most people across the world for that matter, are more acidic than they are alkaline. And we also know that when a tissue becomes more and more acidic, it is much more prevalent to have disease, things like cancer and diabetes. Acidic tissue can be very dangerous and damaging, yet alkaline tissue is much more healthy. And we see all kinds of studies to support that. I've been in this industry for almost 25 years, and during this period of time, I've had the opportunity of working with professional athletes all the way down to the weekend warrior, little warrior football players or athletes or non-athletes, doesn't matter. Young, old, male, female, it doesn't matter. But during this period of time, one of the things that we knew was, how can we help alkalize the body more? And it was always very difficult because all we had were alkalizing nutrients or foods that people had to eat large quantities of to create an alkaline environment. Most people don't want to eat enough or all of the green leafy vegetables and alkalizing fruits and vegetables and things like that to create an alkaline environment. So when I was introduced to a technology that literally changes the largest component of my body, which is water, 75 to 80% of our body is made up of water. And unbeknownst to me, most of that water that we're consuming, as you're going to see this demonstration, is in an oxidizing and acidic form. And so if we can change that largest component from oxidizing to anti-oxidizing and from acidic to alkaline, seems to me like we're going to see improvement in health, improvement in performance, improvement in all the different areas that the body functions in. Tonight, though, we're going to focus specifically on fat loss and how balancing the body's pH does in fact create or allow for the loss or the burning or the excretion of fat. I know there are many of you out there that say, gosh, if I could just get rid of a few more pounds, you would be happy. And you've tried all these different things. Well, let's talk about some of the details. There's a hint as to what we need to look at. One of the keys that we need to look at when we're looking at dropping body fat. That hint is that hydrogen may be the key. And I'm going to share with you why. Let's start first of all by looking at some of the things that hydrogen provides for us. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the world. Number one. Well, hydrogen also plays an important role in almost every function that goes on within our body. Hydrogen produces energy. We all want energy. Okay? It creates what's called ATP. You hear Dr. Filter talk a lot about that. Hydrogen is very a potent antioxidant. It allows or stimulates, supports the body's natural production of SOD, which is called superoxide dismutase, the most potent and powerful form of antioxidant, and the body can produce it with the help or presence of hydrogen. Vital role. Hydrogen is required for respiration. Hydrogen is vital for digestion. Bottom line, guys, that list could go on and on. Hydrogen is a very key element in the functioning properly, in the proper functioning of our body. So let's take a look at how does that tie together with the technology that I'm going to demonstrate to you, and weight loss. To do that, I want to start off by sharing real quickly that a process of ionization is required. A process of introducing electricity to disassociate, if you will, the water is a very important point. I believe that lightning, which has gone on from the beginning of time, plays a vital role in that electrolysis process, in that electrolyzing. We do the same thing with our technology. We use electricity from an outlet. So in many ways, I believe that we mimic that natural process that God uses to ionize much of the waters and the processes that go on out there in nature. It's vital. That electricity is vital for the creation of antioxidants. Remember, I said that before, hydrogen is one of the most, if not the most potent form or production of SOD, which is the most potent form of antioxidant. So why is that important? Well, antioxidants, as we know, are all over. We see all kinds of antioxidant this and antioxidant that, and a new juice and a new pill and a new exercise and all to create antioxidants. Why? Because we don't want that oxidative process going on. We want to reduce or suppress that oxidative process. When you think of oxidation within our body, you think of things like degeneration. You think of things like disease, degradation, pollution, whatever the case might be. We want our body to have more antioxidants, and hydrogen is a very key antioxidant. Well, we're going to tie that together. I want to use a little instrument to show you that we can measure all of these liquids that probably you watching these demonstrations have consumed at one point or another, and maybe even consume every single day. I'll bet you there are many of you that say, oh, I don't drink tap water, I drink bottled water. Maybe it's Dasani, maybe it's Aquafina. Maybe many of you say, oh, I don't drink any of those bad waters from the tap. I drink things like Gatorade and healthy, those types of liquids. I'm going to show you how almost every one of those liquids are oxidizing. There's what's called an oxidation reduction potential. ORP means absolutely nothing other than the potential to reduce that oxidative process. Anything that is on the positive side means that it is more oxidizing. Okay, it's almost backwards, but that's the way they measure it. So things that are on the positive side, oxidizing, are bottled waters. I'm going to demonstrate that here in a minute. Tap water, extremely oxidizing. Sports drinks, the higher on this list that it goes, the more oxidizing that or those liquids are. Now we go to the opposite side of the list. Anything that is in the negative side is anti-oxidizing. So we see things like vitamin C. That's not a big surprise. Many of you knew vitamin C was an antioxidant. Vitamins A and C and E and selenium are antioxidants. We can get antioxidants from things like green tea, which is a great antioxidant. We get antioxidants from wheatgrass, another great antioxidant. There's a lot of good, wholesome antioxidants, and they measure on this potential to reduce that oxidative process. They measure on this chart, whether it be oxidative or antioxidative. And I'm telling you that we have all these antioxidants, cod liver oil, that many people can't or won't do. You're probably not going to commit to drinking green tea the rest of your life. You're probably not going to commit to drinking wheatgrass every single morning and maybe lunch and dinner for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. But I'm telling you that we have a technology that allows us to do something that we do all day anyway, and provide the greatest potential to reduce oxidation by drinking water each and every day. So let's do a demonstration. We'll actually have it's called an ORP meter. This is simply a meter, an instrument that allows us to put it in different liquids and measure whether those liquids are oxidizing or anti-oxidizing. So let's just take some of our most commonly consumed liquids. We're going to take Smart Water. Many of you have consumed Smart Water. In fact, that's one of the fastest growing brands of water because of the marketing of its name, Smart Water. We're going to try Aquafina. We've got some Dasani, a lot of different kinds out there. Believe me, we've tested them all. Today I'm going to use a new one. I haven't used this in a while. Pedialyte. Why do we consume Pedialyte? Well, it's taught that it is an electrolyte replenishment drink. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And I've got some Sprite for those of you that drink carbonated drinks. And then lastly, we've got some water right out of the very technology that I'm just talking about, that I showed you up here, is very anti-oxidizing. We're going to be able to prove that with this ORP meter. I'm going to put it right in our first one right here. See if you can zoom in here just a little bit. And we are at 340. It's positive 340. So we know it's not anti-oxidizing. It is oxidizing. We go to Dasani, right up there around the same, 340. We go to any of these waters, okay? Aquafina, 307. So it's not quite as oxidizing possibly as the others, but it's still very oxidizing. Pedialyte, 323, 322. It's not quite as oxidizing, but I'm going to show you some other stuff on it in a minute. Either way, though, 300, when you look on that chart, is way up there. Sprite, we're nearing 400. If we had enough time, we'd wait here for a minute, and it would measure up in the 400s. Now, you zoomed in pretty good? Let's come to ionized, antioxidant-rich water, rich in hydrogen. We're at a negative 450. Let me come back down here to one of these others, Sprite, right back up there. It's climbing, and it's going to, no matter which one of these we go in, it's going to keep climbing, keep climbing. It's going to get back up there to the 300-400 mark. Doesn't matter. Let's come right back down here to our anti-oxidizing. It's a negative 466 and climbing. You see that okay? Now, I want to try one other thing real quick. Let's come down here to, let's go Dasani. In Dasani, hopefully you zoomed in enough where you can see the number there. I'm going to add just a little bit, and let's see if we can get it from oxidizing to anti-oxidizing. Did it go to negative? Of course it did. Because the anti-oxidizing potential, the ability to create and provide antioxidants, is significantly higher when we go through that ionization process. And we can do the same thing in all of those, and we would see that we have a very antioxidant rich, in other words, great potential to reduce that oxidative process. But potential is a key word here, and I'm going to come back to it in a minute as to why that is the case. I'm going to take this aside, get a new cup, because we already added a good Kangen water to it. Come back, put some more back in here so that we have that oxidizing water. So obviously, guys, if we could change that largest component of our body, 75-80% of our body made up of water. If your body is made up primarily of any of these liquids, it's no surprise that you may have a hard time recovering from an injury. You may have a hard time with energy levels. You may have a hard time with whatever the case might be. You're more prevalent to disease, things like cancers and diabetes and those that oxidative processes cause. If we can reverse that and have anti-oxidizing capabilities, the better off we are. In a lot of ways, I believe that this ionized, antioxidant-rich water gives us that youthfulness that so many of us are looking for each and every day. So that's one aspect. Let's go to the next aspect real quick, and then we're going to tie it all together. Next chart is what's called a pH chart. Okay, balancing the body's pH is a vital factor in living a healthy lifestyle. You heard me say earlier, the body's intended to function in a slightly alkaline environment, yet most people are acidic. And why? If I can show you that these drinks, just like they are oxidizing, if I can show you that they are also acidic by nature, hopefully you're going to be able to see that by simply changing that largest component of the body can really change that landscape of health as you know it. On this chart, it goes from 0 to 14. 7 right in the middle means it's neutral. It's not alkaline and it's not acidic. It just is right in the middle. Now, ironically, the pH chart the pH is for potential hydrogen. There's that hydrogen word again. I'm going to tie it together here at the end, but I want to show you how and where your drink might fall on this chart of pH. And I hope that you're able to agree with me that whatever your water is, whether it's one of these or it's something else you drink, if that largest component of your body is an acid-based liquid, regardless of what brand or what product or what drink it is, if it is acidic by nature, then wouldn't your body tend to be more acidic as well? And if we could change that largest component to alkaline, alkalizing, hopefully you can see where that benefit would be. Anything below 7 is acidic. Anything above 7 is alkaline. Now, how are we going to measure that? We're going to measure that with what are called pH drops. They're nothing magical. They're drops that are used in all kinds of industries. They're put into a liquid, and then based upon the color that it changes, we know whether that or those liquids are alkaline or acidic. Let's go down here to smart water. Didn't take much to see that. I'm going to put 2 or 3 drops in all of these. My favorite. Let's give each one of them a little spin here. Maybe you can even zoom in on some of these colors a little bit. Let's start down here with smart water. Guys, with smart water, as I'm going to take this back up, can you still see it in the camera? As I take this up here, you see the smart water is right in here, probably about a 6 on the pH scale. So I've showed you already that it is oxidizing. Now I'm showing you that it is close to neutral, but it's still very acidic. Or not very acidic compared to the others, but it's still acidic. Doesn't matter how acidic, it is still acidic. Dasani, right down here about a 5. Aquafina, all these are right around the same. Same industry, same processes taking place, same source waters being used, and I'm showing you how across the board, most of them are acidic. Pedialyte. That liquid that we are supposed to be giving our children when they're sick, I'm showing you is acidic. Very acidic. Again, largest component of the body, if it's acidic, you're going to be acid. If it's alkaline, you have a better chance of being alkaline. Carbonated drinks, way down here. You can see it, it's an orange. It's all the way down here around a 3. Carbonated drinks are that acidic. That's why one of the number 1 ingredients is carbonic acid. That's what gives it that carbonation. And then the star is all the way up here at about 9, 9.5, 10, 11. Guys, changing that largest component, I keep saying that over and over, but I hope that you realize the great benefit and great value that changing that component can offer you. Now, let's take that person that says, okay, I get it, carbonation, all these things, yep, they're very acidic. One little bit's not going to hurt. Let me show you how acidic. Let's just take 1 capful. Not even 1 full capful, because I don't want to spill it. 1 capful creates a very acidic alkaline water. What I meant by that was the water was alkaline, 1 cap, now it is very acidic. It doesn't take much. We can put a little bit in there, alkaline. Put a little bit in our Dasani, alkaline. A little bit in our Aquafina, alkaline. Pedialyte. Can't do it. Carbonated drinks. Can't do it. A little bit back in here. What happened? Started to turn. Alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. Where's that acidity? The acidity comes along. Look at it. It's acidic. That's how potent and powerful and acidic carbonated drinks or Pedialyte, any of those things are. Guys, again, change the largest component of your body, you will function more efficiently, more effectively. Your immune system, your digestive system, all those systems within the body will be able to function more efficiently and more effectively. So let's get back to the whole topic of today. What I showed you, you may be thinking, well, how does that have to do anything with weight loss? So how does drinking Kangen water, how does drinking electrolyzed, ion-rich, hydrogen-rich, whatever you want to call it, water, how does that help with fat loss? Let me start by saying, again, that hydrogen is important. The body thrives on hydrogen. The body looks for hydrogen. The body needs hydrogen for all those functions that go on. One of those functions, as I said, is digestion. Another one is metabolism. For true metabolic function, hydrogen is important, okay? So hopefully you've got in your mind that, yep, the body knows that hydrogen it's kind of the holy grail. Got to have a bunch of it. It's important. I want it. Well, guess what foods happen to have a lot of hydrogen in it? You guessed it. Fatty foods. How many of you have heard of hydrogenated fat? Well, wait a minute. I'm just saying that hydrogen is important. The body needs it. But yet, if we're eating hydrogenated fat, am I promoting that as a healthy thing? No, not at all. What I am saying, though, is that here's what goes on. We consume foods, and fat has the highest quantity of hydrogen, more so than protein, more so than carbohydrates. Quantity-wise, it has the highest amount. But is it usable? That's the key. So here comes hydrogenated anything. Anything with hydrogen in it. In this scenario, we're talking about fat. So in comes fat. We chew it up, we swallow it. The body looks at this and it says, wow, a lot of hydrogen in there. I need that. I want that. But I can't get access to it until I break those fats down into fatty acids. Then I can use that hydrogen, I can strip that hydrogen out and use it for energy, for metabolism, for reproduction, for respiratory, for antioxidant, whatever the case may be. But since that fat is so rich in hydrogen, I can't get access to it, so let's hold on to it. Let's get it, let's pack it somewhere around this body, because someday, hopefully I can find that magic key that'll unlock that fat, or in other words, digest that fat, break that fat down, so that I can have access to all of this hydrogen. Folks, when our body consumes fatty foods with high amounts of hydrogen, it stores it. It holds on to it. It's much like maybe you're walking downtown. You look inside of a store. You're window shopping, and you look inside of a store and you see a beautiful dress, or maybe it's a car, or maybe it's a sporting something or other, a football, or whatever it is. You look in there and you think, oh man, I'd really like to have that, but it's locked. No one's there. You don't have access to get in there. You can't even get in there to touch it or feel it or use it. So it's not of much worth to you because it's locked. So you come back the next day and the next day and you're loving it. Well, if someone comes along and says, oh, you like that dress? I'll tell you what, I've got a store just down the road. I'm open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've got that exact dress. In fact, I've got about 50 of them exactly like it. I'm open all day, every day. In fact, it's half the price. Folks, that last store you had no need for anymore. You now go to the new store where you have access to. Same scenario goes on within our body. Foods are coming in with high hydrogen. We store it because the body's saying, I need that. I can use that. That fat is high in hydrogen, so I'm going to keep packing and packing and packing and packing. If we can provide a liquid that is extremely high in hydrogen, hydrogen-rich water, 80% of my body becomes rich in hydrogen, all of a sudden the body's able to forget about that other. It's able to say, I don't need to hold on to this fat that, yes, it's high in hydrogen, but it doesn't compare to the quantity that I have in the other 80% of my body. I can now start releasing much of this fat that I'm storing or that I'm holding on to. That same process would take place in the digestion of our fats. As we increase the breakdown or digestion of the fats that we consume, we have usable sources of energy. We have usable sources of fat to build the protective coating of the nervous system. Usable forms of fat to feed the brain and other areas of the body. But when it is inaccessible, the body's going to store it. You start flooding your body with hydrogen-rich water that is rich in antioxidants, that is good balanced pH, that has all the things that I'm sharing this technology has. All of a sudden the body's able to say, I don't need to hold on to the rest of this stuff. Folks, person after person after person has found that just in a few short days, their body is starting to release a lot of these things and weight starts to come down. Now, I'm not saying that's fat loss. I'm saying that that is loss that the body has stored of much of that stuff. You change the quantity, the largest component of your body with something that is what the body needs to use, it no longer has a need to store all of the unusable forms for a rainy day, so to speak. Tricia, who I'm very close with, I love this girl, 85 pounds. And her main focus was balance the pH, increase breakdown or digestion of the fats being consumed. As we do that, and you may say, well, what are you talking about increasing the breakdown of those fats? Digestion is very pH specific. As we balance that pH by changing the largest component of our body, the digestive enzymes are able to more efficiently, effectively break those fats down, yielding the hydrogen, yielding the fatty acids, yielding all those things that the body needs to function healthfully, have the energy that we need, have the respiratory effects that we need, have the metabolic effects that we need, dropping that body fat. Guys, I can't express enough how important balancing your pH, getting alkaline water into your body, getting ionized water into your body, changing that largest component. I can't emphasize enough how important that is to truly dropping body fat, improving your body's muscle to fat ratio, living a more healthy, energetic, youthful life. I've seen it with family members, I've seen it with clients, I've seen it with friends just like Tricia and many, many others. So I hope that you'll take the time and get back with that person that invited you to this demonstration. I hope that it was impactful for you as it was for me, because it definitely can improve that quality of life. There's a saying within our company that if you change your water, you may just change your life. I thank you for inviting me into your home tonight, as I hope to be able to continue to share with you the principles, the techniques, and the technologies that truly are changing life as we know it today. Thank you all again. God bless and good night.